All right, welcome back to Sauceman's Garage 2008 Jeep Compass. Today we're going to be changing out the spark plugs. So the OEM spark plugs for this truck are NGK ZFR 5F-11. This is the 2.4 liter dual VVT, variable valve timing engine. So this truck has a misfire in cylinder 4. So we're going to try the easy stuff first. We're going to try the plugs. We may end up doing a coil, but we've already swapped out the coils and didn't get an alternate misfire. I swapped out the coil from cylinder 4 to cylinder 3. And the misfire code went away and unfortunately hasn't come back. So, we did notice the plugs are pretty old. So we're going to change out the plugs and see if that solves our cylinder 4 misfire, which is a P0304 OBD2 code. So easy enough. First things first, off comes the engine cover. And then you have your 4 coil packs here. The coil packs come off with a Torx head. This is a Torx head T30. Torx head T30. And we will pop off the coils. Simple enough. Take off all those T30s. Like I mentioned, we may end up changing out one of these coil packs because of that code, but hoping a spark plug change will eliminate our cylinder 4 misfire. So once you get that off, it's simply unplug the electrical connections, push down on the tab, push down, unplug, push down, unplug. Easy enough. What we're going to do is we're going to keep these in order, because like I mentioned earlier, we can't replicate it, but we had a cylinder 4 misfire. So we're going to keep these coil packs in order. Not too much oil on them, which is good. Here we go. So you're going to need, let me just double check. Yeah, you're going to need a 5/8 spark plug socket. This one's got the rubber. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me get a flashlight here. You've got that rubber inside there. Those are the best for spark plugs, of course. They'll hold on to it for you. So let's work our way across here. I'm getting these plugs out. Like I said, we just acquired the vehicle, so didn't get much maintenance history with it. And in the maintenance history, there was no talk of spark plug removal. So let's see how these look with 140,000 K. Like I said, I'd be surprised if they're original, but well, wouldn't be surprised. So that looks good. That's what you want, kind of a sandy gray color. Pop that off. Also looking good, sandy gray. These are NGK ZFR 5F. We are ZFR 5F-11, so we're replacing like with like. Like that here on these ones, you can see That's not a very good indication, but it's definitely, these have been in there a while. No oil, which is good. We are going to do the valve cover gasket on this as well, and it comes with spark plug seals because it does have an oil leak down the back. So let's see here. Next one here. See what number 3 looks like. Number 3 is a bit oily, just on the ends here. Not on the electrode. Electrode's pretty worn down on number 3. And finally, number 4. All right. Again, electrode. Let's just compare to a new one. Oh, shiny. You can see the gap difference between the old and the new. So the gap spec on these is 0.043. We'll just do a quick check on that. They always come pre-gapped, but I always like to double check. 0.043. So this one's 0.044. Perfect. Right there. So we're going to keep that at that. But yeah, pretty sure, you know, one of the reasons the truck is misfiring, before you go through the expense of changing out your coils, always suspect the spark plugs. They're the cheapest part of the equation, and a misfire a lot of times can be tracked down to a faulty plug or an old plug before it is a coil. So, all right, now the installation is simply the opposite of the reverse. Take your new plug. Got our nice little rubber seal on there. Hold on a sec. I always put, because we're putting metal threads into an aluminum block. I always do it with all plugs anyways. Get yourself some just regular grade never sees. You don't need much, but just a tiny little bit. Keep it away from the electrode. Tiny little bit on those threads, and run it down, and you won't have any problems with spark plugs seizing in your block with a little bit of never seize on it. That little bit of preventative maintenance goes a long way when you're trying to do this again a couple years down the road, and you've got if you don't have any on there, you can get pretty stuck plugs. Last thing you want is breaking off a plug in the block. That's no good. So here we go again. Go in number 3. Again, 0.43, 0.44, 0.44 better be a good snug fit. Good snug fit. Perfect. A little bit of never seize away from the electrode again, just a little bit on the plug. And in we go. Always thread it by hand. Never try and thread it with a socket wrench. Always just nice. If you ever feel any bit of resistance while you're spinning the spark plug into the hole, definitely stop. That means you're running the risk of cross-threading it. Spin it in by hand until you can't anymore, and then just snug it down. Nice and snug. Nothing crazy. You have a washer on the bottom, crush washer on these plugs. Most plugs, all plugs. That crush washer, you can see what the old one looks like. Old one's flat, new one's open. So that's a crush. That crushes down and provides a good friction fit for the plug. So again, like I said, pre-gapped, but we'll we'll just make sure nice snug fit. Perfect. A little bit of never sees on the threads. Keep the never sees away from the electrode end. Just a little bit on the threads. Load it. In we go. Run it down by hand, making sure there isn't any resistance when you're threading it in. Resistance, like I said, means cross-threading. Cross-threading, very bad. Once you get it all the way, you can feel that crush washer, and then you snug it down. Once the crush washer has crushed into place. Nice and easy snug, and you're good. And here we go, last one. Last one. 24. Perfect. Tiny bit of never sees. Just need it on the one side. Once you run that down, that will coat the threads all the way around, all 360 degrees. And you won't have any problems removing these when you have to do a plug change again, or whoever will be doing the change in the future. You'll save them a ton of frustration. So a little bit of never sees until you have contact with the crush washer, and then the crush washer, resistance, and then snug down. There we go. So now we have all of our new spark plugs in, and back in with our coils. Back in with our coils. Push them on in the same order. T30 Torx. Again, when you're tightening down your T30 Torx to hold the coils in place, the coils are plastic, of course, so you never want to tighten these too much. You just want to have a nice snug fit. So good, 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 good. Now we do our plug-in. Till it clicks. One, plug in, click, perfect, plug in, click, plug in, click. Make sure our tools are clear. And then our engine cover goes back into place. Push it down. And that's, oops, perfect. And that's how you change the spark plugs on a 2008 Jeep Compass with the 2.4 liter dual VVT engine. Most Chrysler products of this vintage run this engine, so it'll be similar to say a lot of the Chrysler and Jeep engines out there. So if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time on Sauceman's Garage.